Right, who's got an opener for the show? Anyone?
For once again, didn't come prepared.
Yeah,
What the hell?
one day I'll prepare for this, but I guess that's probably half the charm is that we don't prepare for this.
Maybe.
It's all genuine.
No, you haven't heard any funny... Actually, I read a joke on Carnage's Discord channel, and it's probably the funniest dad joke I've ever heard. It is so... like... It all just works, and it's a dad joke, but it's funny. I'll see if I can deliver it all right.
Is
Sure.
that possible?
Is what possible if I can deliver it?
Well, we're
For
both
a-
dads, so it is
A
fine.
dad joke
so.
to be funny? Yeah, true.
Oh.
I'm outnumbered here.
Well, we'll see how it goes. But it's... I bought a pair of shoes off a drug dealer today. I don't know what he laced them with, but I've been tripping all day.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure that's a dad joke. Really, this is not one you tell your kids.
Well, it's not, no, but it's kind of dad... It's like in maybe a young adult...
It's like a drug dealer, like mentor drug dealer to what's
Protege.
it? Protege drug dealer joke.
Yeah, maybe.
And he's
You
just
probably,
like, oh, yeah,
probably
alright,
wouldn't
dude.
tell your, 9-year-old child that joke. They probably wouldn't get it either, but anyway. I'm sure my daughter would
Or
laugh
it's the
anyway.
one where the cartel mob boss tells, and everyone's like, there's awkward silence, and then everyone's like, catches on and goes, oh,
We better laugh before we're going to get shot. Right.
yeah.
Well, anyway, that's all I had, so let's just start the show. This is episode 206, and today is Thursday, the 22nd of March, 2018. Welcome to the Aussie Gamers Express podcast. I am your host, and not here with me is my co-host and very good friend, Snoogs. He's away. He's in another country or something like that. Where is he? Dubbo?
Dubbo.
Yeah, he's checking out zoos and stuff or something like that, but he's not here. But this week, we still have our awesome co-host, the lovely Remutha. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good, and how are you?
I'm not too bad. Yeah,
Tired and run down,
absolutely.
like everybody else in my family as well.
I've reached delirium point, I think.
Alright, well, let's get some craziness out of you for the podcast. And
Excellent.
last, but not least, is our resident harsh critic, Grejio. How are you, mate?
Feeling good. And yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Before we go any further, I just want to say I just had the creepiest moment of my life right now.
Okay.
I think there's a ghost in my office with me because I thought somebody just tapped me on the shoulder and I turned around expecting my daughter to be there saying goodnight, and there's nobody there. Oh, Aussie Ghost Hunters Express. That was creepy as shit, man.
Don't mention that to Snoogs. He'd be all over that. He'd be like, hell yes, let's
What?
do that.
What touched me? There was nothing there. Oh,
Need to get one of those green cameras.
It's literally, it's just like the night vision version on your camera. You just like walk around.
yeah. Anyway, let's try and get my
Or you can
mind
use
off
the
that.
Xbox Connect to,
Oh,
and like,
yeah,
and then use the night vision so we can see all the apparitions going through the laser beams.
oh dear. I do have an Xbox in here, but I don't have a Kinect hooked up to it. So anyway, let's change the subject so I can concentrate. Before we start, here is this week's show in preview. First up, we'll do video game discussion. Then we're going to be doing Hall of Fame. Then What's That Sound? And last words. So let's kick it off into video game discussion. Now, just quickly as well, it's going to be a little bit shorter this week, I would imagine. We don't have Snoogs here this weekend, this week, so we're holding off on Reverberation. Is that right?
That's correct.
Definitely.
That game is super fun, but we need a couple of us doing it. So we're gonna wait for Snoogs to come back.
It's all good. We'll do it next week.
Next week, yes, that sounds good. I've got some gaming news that this is playing with my emotions because I had the biggest news in the world to drop on you guys. I was so excited to start the podcast because I'm like, I get to tell you guys what happened today, and then somebody put well, I think it was, who was it? I think it was Kazakol put something in the Discord, which absolutely burst my bubble. No, it wasn't. It was.
I haven't looked at Discord today, so you can lay it on me and still have your. So.
No, well, I'll explain it. It's hard to say. It wasn't Kazakol. I should apologise to him. It wasn't him. It was Martikins. PUBG.
I'll still act excited.
Thanks,
It's
man.
a wheelchair. It's all good.
PUBG has been released on mobile phones. I'm pretty. No. That's not the exciting part.
I was going to say that can't be it.
No, calm your tits.
Can it?
Calm
Put
your
it back
tits.
in again.
That's not the exciting part. The exciting part is that, I thought, okay, cool, no worries. I downloaded it on my iPhone 7. I booted it up, and I'm like, oh, well, it says with your device, the automatic settings are high. So I thought, okay, cool, my phone's going to be able to run
So you wave back.
Not that kind of high, HIGH. And I started playing it, and the first thought that I had when I'm playing PUBG on my iPhone 7 is, this runs better than it does on my Xbox One X.
Oh.
Wow.
That's bad.
Oh.
That is bad. But look, I mean, obviously there's a lot lower resolution. The Xbox is trying to push it out at 4K, whereas it's running at whatever it is on my phone. And obviously the detail levels are a lot lower and all that sort of stuff. But it ran really well, like stupidly good. It ran really playable. The only thing is obviously touchscreen controls. It's a bit slow. It's a bit shithouse. I played it and I got shot in the back, which is a normal occurrence for playing PUBG. I turned around and killed the guy. I got a kill. I got a kill on PUBG on a mobile phone. I thought, oh, look, maybe it's because it's mobile phone and the other person playing's just as shit and has no idea how to play. Yeah, no worries. Got another kill. Got another kill. And another kill. Another. I finished that game with 7 kills.
Wow.
So I'm thinking, yeah, maybe it's only just come out. People aren't used to the game yet. We're all noobs versus noobs, and
You're scoring off the noobs.
Yeah, and me being sort of a jack of all trades, master of none, maybe my noobishness is slightly better than somebody who's never played it before, blah, 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 So I'm thinking, oh, great. And then the unthinkable happened.
Yeah.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Oh, awesome.
I got a chicken dinner. I don't care that it's on iPhone. It is on PUBG. I finally got myself a chicken dinner. My wife is sick in bed at the moment, so I couldn't run around the house screaming. So I ran around the house anyway, but like doing the whole yes really quietly.
Yep.
Super happy. Went in and saw my daughter. I said, Emily, you know how I've been trying to get this chicken dinner thing? She's like, yeah. I said, I finally got one. And she said, Dad, we had a chicken dinner last night. Oh. I thought she knew what I was talking about. Clearly she doesn't. So I'm all excited. I've taken 1,000 screenshots as evidence. I've got it all there ready to go. I was waiting for the podcast to go up before I let the cat out of the bag. I wanted it to be a surprise for all of you guys and all that. And then I jumped into the Discord and saw that Martikins has written PUBG on iOS everybody thinks they're getting chicken dinners on their first go, but they're really just versing bots.
Oh,
PUBG
buddy.
trolling.
Oh. I thought I just did something super amazing. I've never got a chicken dinner before, and I got it on my first try on iOS. And then I find out that it's against bots.
So herein lies the thing. Is it just permanently, or is it just your first game is on bots?
Well, what Martikins was saying is that it basically lets you verse bots until you get better and level up or something like that. So I think it's a temporary thing.
Oh, so
Right.
here's my other question that to go on top of that. Being that you're saying it runs better on your phone than it does the One X, is that because it's against bots? And will it get worse once you're against other people?
Maybe. That's a very good thing to bring up. Yeah, it could be because maybe I was playing offline.
I'm going to say that's probably a good reason why.
So yeah, that would obviously really help the responsiveness of the game and the frame rate. So yeah, look, maybe it is. But oh man, I was so bummed when I saw that, and I only just saw it like as we were starting the show, and my heart just sank. I was like, oh, so technically I still don't have a legit chicken dinner. I hate you, Martikins.
You ruined everything.
Oh, I was blissful in my ignorance just then. I didn't need to know that.
You were happy with the spam. It was fine.
I was killing everybody. See, and most of those kills too, I had to turn on them because they would shoot me, and I would turn around, and I would lace them. I'd just destroy them. It's probably because they would take one shot and just stand there.
Come at me, bro.
Come at me.
Oh, man. But anyway, look, I'm going to see if I can contact some men in black and get the flashy thingy and forget that I thought they were that I know they're bots now. Or I'll do some research and see if, maybe I was up against real people that were just really bad. Oh, so gutted. Oh.
Devastating. That is honestly devastating.
Oh,
I know I'm laughing, but I'm very sorry.
let me just stay here miserable for a bit. Can you guys tell me something about your week that might be nicer?
Okay, well, I've played a fair few games this week.
Mm-hmm.
I think we both have, actually. I played Assassin's Creed Origins for the first time this week.
Oh, for the first time.
I know I'm a little behind the ball, but I've had other things I've been playing, and I've had a week at home to myself, and so I decided that I'd cram through some games I hadn't played yet. So Assassin's Creed Origins was one of them, which I'm really enjoying. Rem, however, has been having a lovely time laughing at me playing it.
Absolutely.
Because I say I've had a lovely time, but there have been a few times I've raged at it because I think there's some dumb things in the game.
Ooh, like what? Like what? I want to see if I agree.
So it's more gameplay-ish kind of things. Like when you put someone up on your mount and you ride along, and then you go to get them off, it's the same button to get them off as it is for a camel or horse. And if you don't have it exactly right, you'll end up jumping on and off the horse a couple of times until you actually line it up and go, oh no, I want to take it off. Like,
yes.
Why couldn't you make them two different buttons? That
yes,
would
I've
make more
encountered
sense.
that. I have encountered that problem before.
I've never had an issue with it, but
It took me a little while to get used to the new Eagle Vision. At first, it's not very intuitive. Even the fact that you have no minimap is actually kind of, I find, a little bit annoying as well. It makes it a little bit harder to navigate streets and know where you are. It means you actually have to know the physical maps as opposed to just being able to look at a minimap and go, oh yeah, I can negotiate if there's like a shortcut here, or sometimes you'll run down a shortcut because you don't have a minimap and then find that there's no shortcut. It's like a dead end.
That's never bothered me, actually.
And more so, also going into enemy territories. It's actually really easy just to wander into an enemy territory and not realize that you're doing it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and especially with that auto run thing when you're on a mount. Like, I'll easily, just start daydreaming, and then the next thing I know, I'm getting attacked by everyone because I've run through some enemy base.
Yeah, exactly.
That one is bad.
The auto pathfinding when you're on your mount is sometimes ridiculously dumb.
Yep.
Terrible.
Like I literally had my camel standing next to the road leading out of a place. It walked down another road, circumnavigated the property to get onto the road that I wanted to get onto before it started going. And I'm like, and of course I don't know the map well enough, so I'm like, obviously it knows the shortest way to get there, so I trusted it. Except by the time I'd circumnavigated this property and got back on the road, I was literally standing right there. I'm now walking past the place I was standing when I pressed A. What the hell?
That is so accurate to my experience with it as well.
The pathfinding in that game is atrocious.
They really need to, in these games, these open world games, they really need to employ someone from Garmin or TomTom or something to help them out with that.
Yes.
Freaking Google. Get some Google Maps going. So Deb has been having a lot of fun laughing at me, saying, you really should be streaming this, and just screaming at the computer. Absolutely.
Everyone should be hearing this, laughing at you screaming at the computer.
Yeah,
Grejio's next session, just saying.
Absolutely.
So, I've played Assassin's Creed. I did my first Twitch stream this week.
I heard. I think I was out when that was happening.
Probably. It was during the middle of the day. It was actually probably in the morning. Like I said, I've been around at home all week, and I thought it was a good time to iron it all out and get it working and whatnot, and I did it, and I did a first play of Super Hot.
Oh, how'd that go? I've not played that yet.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. It has a lot of... I believe it has a lot of story. It's hard to tell at the beginning. And it really is subtle how it brings it in. Like, you just think you're playing a puzzle game. Like a first-person shooter puzzle game, essentially. And all of a sudden, the story starts to play in, and you can't control your character the way you should, and it puts you through and talks to you through the screen, and there's some little in-between levels. Some levels it'll boot you back to the main screen, and there'll be like emails, like text-based email, MS-DOS style emails popping up, and having these conversations with people, and then all of a sudden you lose the function to be able to even discuss with people properly in that. And anyway, without spoiling it too much, gameplay-wise, it's unique. Like, there's nothing else like it at the moment.
Can you explain that? Because the game's been out for a while, and I still haven't really worked out what it is.
So, it's a first-person shooter, right? But while you're standing there, time stands still. Nothing happens.
Right.
And as you move, time moves with you.
Oh, that's like that. There's a game like that called Shadwin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, similar concept. If you stop, time stops. Time only progresses when you move.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So then what'll happen is you'll have a bunch of enemies either come into the room or they'll be in the room with you, and you'll have to combat them using the ability to... So you can look around, that's free, but as soon as you move your body, time will start. And you'll try... What you're trying to do is you're trying to grab weapons, take out enemies, throw weapons. Like, you can't... Once you've run out of shots, that's it. You got to throw the gun. You can't pick up ammo, so you'll throw the gun at an enemy, and it bounces off their head, and they'll let go of their gun. You can take it off them and shoot them. And what eventually it does is then it will replay how you solve the puzzle, in real time, and it makes you look like a really cool badass because you literally
Because you can dodge
throw a
stuff
baseball bat, bounce it off his head. He throws his gun at you. You pick up the gun, shoot him in the head, thing around, bang, 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 throw the gun, jump, grab the shotgun that's in midair, boom, and then you're done, kind of thing. And you look like a complete badass. So yeah, it's interesting.
That kind of sounds similar to the little thing that you guys were talking about. Remember last week where you mentioned the game where you couldn't see and then it plays through at the end what you did?
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like that. That's something they stole your idea before.
They stole our idea
before you had it.
Only I'm not blind this time. So.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Sounds.
But yeah,
good.
it's a good game. It's worth a try.
That's games with gold, right?
Yeah. So it's free at the moment. If you got an Xbox, it's free. Go get it. Have a crack.
And you downloaded it.
I did.
And added it to your library.
I did.
What convinced you to do that?
I actually wanted to play the game.
But why?
Because I've always wanted to play the game. I just haven't gotten around to playing it up until now. And then I was like, oh, well, it's free. So I'll grab it and I'll play it. I now have the opportunity.
Free. It's now at a reasonable price.
It's not even about being at a reasonable price. It's just I hadn't had the opportunity.
All right.
Anyway,
I'll stop giving you grief. Keep going.
What else have I done this week? I played a bit more. I played and finished up Need for Speed Payback. It's finished. Well, when I say finished, I've finished the campaign. I've continued to play and build cars and all that jazz. So that's fun. And having said that, it's actually had an update this week. They've dropped 3 new cars. So there's the Aston Martin DB5, the Trans Am Firebird, so Smokey and the Bandit style, and the Skyline that was raced by Eddie in Need for Speed Underground 1. So the guy that you beat, the ultimate guy to beat in there, his Skyline is now available free of charge. It'll be in your garage if you have the game.
Nice.
That's good that it's free.
On top of that, they've modified, there's a mode in the game, I can't remember what it's called, but essentially you pick up a box, a crate, and it's designed as bait for the police to try and catch you. So you pick up the crate and you've got to try and run away from the crate. You get money and parts and all that jazz. Up until now, they've had like a checkpoint system where you have to try and make your way through the checkpoints while you're getting chased. They've updated that by removing the checkpoints, so you now just have a point-to-point and you can use whatever means or path necessary to get to said point. You don't have to, you're not fixed by the waypoints anymore. So you can literally cut across country. If you're in a off-road truck, you can literally cut across country if you wish. So there's that. And the last part of the update is there's a new set of challenges called the Kestrel Titanium Challenges. Guess who they're sponsored by?
Kestrel?
Kestrel.
Oh, geez, I'm good at this game.
Yeah.
Can this be a new segment?
So yeah, I've played them already. They're not terribly hard. It's just another thing to do in the game. It doesn't give you anything special. It's just more money. I assume it will be a point of contention for those that are super competitive to see who can be the best at the Kestrel challenges. And I believe that they'll get updated weekly. So it's a constant refresh and there'll just be a new bunch of races every week. There's 3 of them. You've got to do one to unlock the other kind of thing. And once you've unlocked all 3, you're done kind of thing. So.
Well, with saying that you can go like cross country and all that sort of stuff now, it kind of sounds a little bit like The Crew.
Well, yeah, I guess. I'm gonna more liken it to like Forza Horizon. it's a bit more like that.
All right. Well, I'm just trying to make a segue because I've got news about the Crew 2.
Right.
Damn it, Grejio.
Sorry. Yeah, no, totally like the Crew.
You made fun of my segues a few weeks back. I'm trying to get better, dude. You're not helping.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, totally. It's just like the Crew. You can get cross country like the Crew.
Speaking of the Crew, the Crew 2 has just got a release date, which I thought you might be interested in. Did you like the Crew?
Yes and no.
He liked it before it was cool.
Yeah, I remember.
Well, there was that, but
we tried to play it together, didn't we? But we couldn't get it to work. It was running at like
the multiplayer, online multiplayer wasn't great, was it?
Weren't we getting like really low frames or something?
Well, there was a couple of issues. There was like we'd all spawn in, and then like we'd have trouble finding actually being able to get into a game together. And then once we finally got in, there were times where one of us would be invisible, and we couldn't see the other person. So they could all see us, but we couldn't see them. And then there was times where like it would take a long time. Then you get frame rate issues where like people would sit there for ages, and then all of a sudden they were halfway to Africa kind of thing. Yeah,
it definitely had its issues. But anyway, the Crew 2 is on its way, and it's got a release date. Ubisoft has announced that the Crew 2 will launch on the 29th of June 2018. That's coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Windows PC as well. And additionally, though, this sounds a little bit suspect, this part of the news, where it says here, the Crew 2 has been enhanced with additional features for PS4 Pro systems. That's great, but what about the Xbox One X?
Yeah, it's a little bit odd.
And additional features, are we talking about like ambient occlusion and field of view, or are we talking about extra in-game features? Like, what does that mean? It was quite vague. I got this information from Ubisoft themselves, and it was a little bit vague. It didn't really clarify that, and it didn't say anything about Xbox One X. It just said that it was being enhanced with additional features for PS4 Pro. So I don't know. Take from that what you wish, but yeah, I thought that was a little bit strange for them to word it like that.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
But speaking of release dates, here's another little segue for you. Ninokuni 2, the release date for that is tomorrow, which is the 23rd of March 2018. And I've had the fortune of playing Ninokuni 2 for the last week.
So what have you thought of it?
I absolutely adore and love this game. It is so bloody good. Now, I don't like JRPGs. I don't like them. They confuse me. I don't understand what's going on. There's so many bits and pieces. There's millions of different types of loot and characters coming out of everywhere. It's a mess. Ninokuni 2 is absolutely made for people like me because it's a JRPG. There is all of that stuff that should be confusing, but it's just laid out so perfectly. There are so many different things that you can do in this game that if you get bored of one style of gameplay, just go and play a different part of the game. I'll try and explain. The core game is a JRPG. You play as a young king. I think he's like 10 or 9 or something like that, 9-year-old king who's like a cat. But you can, and his kingdom has been taken over by like this mouse tribe. It sounds stupid. It's very child friendly, the storyline and the actions in the game. And he's the president of some country in presumably our world. He gets for unknown reasons, he's teleported into this other world, where Evan, King Evan, is being dethroned and all that sort of stuff. And the storyline takes you through the adventure for Evan to rebuild his kingdom and get his people back together and sort of take back what was taken from him. And you and Roland, this president guy, work together, and then you meet people and add people to your team. I think I'm not the best on JRPGs, but I think that's like a staple for those kind of games where you build a team. I think it's like Final Fantasy, where you'll have like a whole group of people in your little team and they fight with you. And the combat, it's not turn-based, which would have turned me off completely. But the combat is kind of like with Pokemon. You'll walk around in an overworld, and then you'll get attacked by monsters, and then it'll sort of go into sort of an over-the-shoulder sort of view where it basically turns into a hack and slash with abilities that have cooldowns. And you've also got these little higgledies, which I call them Pikmin. They look like Pikmin to me because they've got elemental abilities like earth, fire, water, and all that sort of stuff. And they can help you in battle. And just watching, because the review that I've put together for it is out on YouTube. And even just watching it back when I was doing the editing, I'm watching it going, that is a dead set shit fight. There is stuff going on everywhere. But I knew everything that was happening. When I was playing it, I had control. I knew what was happening. And the game just taught me everything, and it was so easy to learn. Now, I've played other JRPGs, and after a couple of hours, I'm confused and turned off. And Ninokuni 2, the first one was a little bit like that. I liked the first one, but it was kind of a bit of a put-off because it got a little bit convoluted. This second one, they've changed so much, but still managed to add so much more into it, because there's that typical hack and slash fighting, but then you've also got real-time strategy. There's kind of like like Age of Empires. There's a mode in there, so like a meta game, where you can go and play real-time strategies with army men and your character and all that sort of stuff to build up your armies for your kingdom.
Okay.
On top of that, there's also a kingdom builder. So you like in Age of Empires, where you're building your buildings. This is what you're doing. You're putting down buildings in areas, and then and then you think, all right, well, I can build a bakery, but I don't have a baker in my kingdom as like a citizen. So what you'll do, there'll be a side mission that you can take, and then you go off into the world, find a person who's got the attributes to be a baker, and try and recruit them. Generally, they'll have a side mission, like you'll ask them, and they'll say, yeah, look, I'll happily come join your kingdom, but you have to do this for me first. Yeah, typical side missions style.
Yep.
And then you can put them into your kingdom as the baker, and they all earn money, which earns money for your kingdom, which means that you can upgrade your kingdom. And then, as you upgrade, you earn more money and so on and so forth, which then means you can get a blacksmith who can make you weapons for when you go out and play the game like the normal way. You can get like someone to make you armor, someone to make you potions to take with you, and you're building all this stuff. So you're not just going to a vendor and buying these things. You can actually get somebody to make the stuff for you. How's
Cool.
How's this sounding to you guys? Does it sound good?
Well, I'm like you. I'm not big on JRPGs.
Yeah.
Every time I played one, I just end up going, well, I give up.
It sounds exactly like me, yeah.
Yeah, I can't get my head around them. But it sounds interesting. I'd give it a crack.
And
purely off your...
I promise you that I'm not giving this game praise because we got a free copy from Bandai Namco to review it or anything like that. if I think the game sucks, I'll say it sucks. But I really wasn't expecting it to be so addictive the way that it is. I think it's fantastic. I love it. If I had to complain about something, the story is a little bit too childish. I haven't finished it. I'll be honest there. I haven't finished the story, but I've played over 10 hours of the game now. But the story's a little bit too childish.
Is that because that's who it's aimed at, or?
Well, I guess it is, and like you play as a kid, like you're the main character in the game is like 10.
Yep.
So I guess it probably is aimed at that kind of age group, but the gameplay and all of that together makes up for it because it's actually fun to play. And look, I mean, not that the story's bad, but I could imagine if this was aimed at a higher age group, the story would be so much more engaging. So instead of, you beating the bad guy and him being exposed for the meanie that he is, you'd probably just chop his head off.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. But it's absolutely amazing. I think in the review I even said if the game looks interesting to you and you think you'll like it, you probably will. Because I thought it looked good, but because of my mindset with JRPGs, I was like, oh, yeah, I don't know. I love it. I think it's amazing.
Cool.
Good. Nice.
Yes. But I can't think of anything else specific to say about that one. Did you have any questions or move on?
Nope. Pretty straightforward.
No, I'm good.
I played Shadow of War as well. I don't think I'd played it. I think I just bought it last week, didn't I?
Yeah, you bought it and you were planning on streaming it after the recording of last week.
Which I did. I did that for a little while, and I've played it a bit since as well. That's another game that's a winner. That's a really good game. I've played some really good games this week. I recommend Shadow of War. If you enjoyed the first one, have you guys played the first one?
Yes. I really like the first one.
Well, you'll love Shadow of War. I hope. I hope that I'm not speaking out of school here, but I really love it. I think it's great. I won't go on with that too much. I've mainly just been running around killing people, leveling up. I haven't really done too much of the story, so I haven't got much to say about that.
Yep.
Sea of Thieves came out this week as well. Have you guys played that yet?
Oh, not the final. Not the final.
Oh, not the final game? Okay.
No, I haven't played it yet either.
I played it for a little bit last night. I've heard a few people have had issues trying to play it. I didn't have any issues last night.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit of a complaint.
I was watching Snoogs when he streamed it the other night as well. There's a few interesting new features in there by the looks of it, and they've really sort of fleshed it out from what it was in final beta.
Did you watch Snoogs like from the beginning when he started the stream?
No, I had to sort of jump in a bit later, unfortunately.
Okay.
But I watched for a little while.
Bit of a complaint. You can't customize your own character.
What do you mean?
Like, I thought there was going to be a custom creation screen for your character, but you just pick. You just pick from like some.
Oh yeah, the random generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a bit disappointing. I was hoping that they'd have a more fleshed out character creation screen.
Well,
because that was final beta. They had that as well.
From what I've played in the beta and looking at what I've watched Snoogs play, essentially all you're doing in that character creation is picking the mannequin in which you're going to create your character around. All the beards and eye patches and stuff like that, all the vanity items, they're in the game, and you'll create your character off that.
That's right, yeah, but you couldn't like...
Yeah, you had no control over each feature. You had to just basically pick whichever one suited you the best.
Yeah, that's right.
And to be fair, all you're doing is picking the size of your character, whether you want a skinny character, a fat character, male or female.
Or if you want to have two eyes or one.
I'm not complaining about it, because normally with games like that, I just go, whatever, default, whatever, don't care. So not complaining about it, but just I'm surprised, I guess. I did say a bit of a complaint. I retract that. But I'm surprised that a game like that doesn't have a more fleshed out character creation in it. It was just more surprising than anything.
Yeah.
Looking. The last thing that I saw Snoogs do was he actually went in and bought something for his kid. He was buying a beard. That's right. He wanted to buy a beard.
Yeah.
And
I know a few people that want to buy a beard as well. Poor things.
I don't need to. But
no, not you.
Looking at the amount of stuff that's in that shop, like beards and
there's
scars and stuff like that, it's a lot. Like I said, I think that's where you're going to end up. Essentially, that's what you're going to be playing for. 90% of playing this game will be so you can create your character.
Well, that's it, because there's no story. It's basically a choose your own adventure, which is fine by me.
Exactly.
The first thing I bought after playing through Night was a better lantern. Because when it goes nighttime...
Did it work?
Well, yeah, it's brighter, absolutely.
Oh, that's good.
The only thing is, it's either your lantern or your sword. You can't hold both at the same time. So it'd be good. It'd be all right in a team situation. We're like, dude, hold the light. I'll fight them off, sort of thing. Like fight the skeletons off. But yeah, at night time, the standard lantern that I had was rubbish. So yeah, I spent like $2.5 grand of gold on a good lantern. That was basically all the gold I made in that first session that I played for a couple of hours. So I basically worked my ass off to buy a torch.
Yeah.
But didn't hate it. Didn't blow my mind. But I played it on my own, so it was a little bit boring.
A bit more fun with other people, definitely.
100%. Because I was in the small boat, but it was getting really frustrating that I was running backwards and forwards to the map and to the steering.
I mean, you can sort of check the map over the back behind the anchor, but instead of running down the stairs.
You can do that?
Even then, you've got to preset your map so you can see where you're going.
Oh, you can just look at it from there, can you?
Yeah, you can even use your spyglass to get a close-up if you want to.
Oh, there you go. I didn't even notice that. But look, I learnt a few things. I learnt how to stop my boat a little bit more accurately without just dropping the anchor and ripping the hull to pieces. By halving the sail and all that sort of stuff, and I spent some time and learnt how to angle the sail, what the best way to do that was, and it was a peaceful game, but it was very lonely. It was I didn't run into anybody else. There was nobody else to engage with, but yeah, I think. That game would really lend itself to playing in a party of your mates. So I'm going to give it a red hot go this Saturday.
Nice. Sounds good.
Yeah. What else have I got here? Oh, I played Frantics. That PlayLink game. I think I'm not sure if you guys were there in the chat. I was talking to Snoogs about it, and he didn't sound very impressed at all. Basically, it sounded like he hated it. I played it last night with my daughter and my wife, so there was 3 of us. That game's not bad. That's pretty good.
I haven't seen it, so I can't suggest one way or the other. But
I threw a review together for it today. It's up on our YouTube channel if anyone's interested in taking a look at it. But yeah, Frantics is not so bad. It's
sure.
Yeah.
I'll have to have a look.
Please do. What else? I think I've got... last week. I wanted to mention last week somebody brought up, I think it might have been Snoogs, correct me if I'm wrong, brought up about Geralt of Rivia appearing in a new game.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And yes, so he is appearing in a new game, and he's coming in Soul Calibur 6.
There you go. Yeah. I probably should have guessed that one.
Yeah, well... It's
when I heard about it, I went, I should have guessed that one. That was an easy give.
Yeah, so I figured it would be something like that. I even actually suggested it would be a fighting game. So
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Kudos to me. But yeah,
That one. Ding.
that's it. I get some things right sometimes. But yeah, so that's happening in at some stage this year. I don't think there's a release date as yet. But yeah, Geralt is going to be in it, which is really cool, actually. I might get this Soul Calibur. I haven't played a Soul Calibur ever.
Really? I think Soul Calibur 5 was the last thing I bought.
Well, I don't know if you could have bought any after that, could you?
Oh, was it 5 or 4? It might have been 4. Now I think about it.
Fair enough. And
The one with Star Wars in it. That was the last one I bought.
yeah, it had
Let's
like
put it that way.
Yoda and
Yeah,
Darth Maul.
I think
and stuff.
it was Yoda on PlayStation and Darth Vader on Xbox.
Yep. Yeah, there you go.
And I had the Xbox version, so I had Darth Vader.
Very good. And was it you, Rem, that you brought up that the EB Expo is going to be coupled with PAX this year?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yep. So EB Expo is featuring at PAX for this year. So they're combining their powers. Should be very interesting. So it's one big show down in Melbourne for Games Week, and yeah, it's looking interesting. But it's brought up a lot of discussion and contention about whether this is potentially the end of EB Expo.
Well, yeah, you can tell that they're in some sort of dire straits, considering obviously Sydney got a little bit quiet, which is why they moved it to the Gold Coast last year. And now, not only is it moving to Melbourne, it's not even its own standalone Expo anymore. It's been coupled with what seems to be the bigger and more popular one, PAX. I've never been to a PAX before, but just gauging from the community, PAX is the go-to gaming expo.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot there. And like, I wonder whether it's because of some sort of negative that EB's foreseeing, or whether it's if EB went to Melbourne within a week of PAX, really, I think they're going to get more people not coming for them.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why they've avoided it so far.
Yeah, people will go to PAX
So if
instead.
they're going to go, it's probably better to go together, really.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how it pans out and how the marketing goes up until then. And like,
For me,
go.
I'm a little bit more cynical.
Yeah.
Always.
Look, I said this on the podcast when we were at EBU Expo last year, that this essentially is just a big marketing tool for EB. That's why there was so many things that we sit there and go, well, why don't they do this like a normal Gamescom? And I'm like, because it's not a Gamescom. This is a marketing tool for EB. I personally think they've found a way in which they can get the marketing they want for half the price.
Yeah.
They've got someone who is willing to take them on, who they can conglomerate with, who is a Gamescom, can do all those things that everyone's going, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? They can get them done. And they've got someone fitting half the bill for the fit out for the place and getting everyone there and the security and all this jazz, which means that when you all run off to the EB shop and buy hundreds of thousands of dollars of stuff in there, that's now more profit than what they had beforehand. And I think let's put it this way: EB Expo isn't dead if that shop is connected to PAX.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, if EB had their way, that would literally all they would do is put up their EB shop and just have you guys buying stuff. They couldn't care about anything else, to be fair.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. But anyway, look, I'm excited. I've never been to Melbourne, so I'm really excited to go to Melbourne this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
I mean, technically I've been in Melbourne because I've been to Tasmania before and my flight stopped off in Melbourne, but that doesn't count if you don't leave the airport. So I've never been to Melbourne. I am very happy for PAX/EB Games Expo to be in Melbourne this year, because it gives me an excuse to go down to Melbourne. And,
Absolutely.
And if you guys will come, I'll bloody well be even more happy. That'll be great. I think Snoogs is excited for it too.
Well, yeah, he was really hoping that it would go down to Melbourne, really.
Yeah.
Last year, he was definitely saying that he wanted to go to Melbourne, so
And
it'll be good.
You do need an excuse to go to Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Sorry,
running
overnights.
October 26th to the 28th, so it's only the 2 days. I remember the Expo used to be 3 days.
That is 3 days.
It is too. 26, 27 and 28.
It's all good.
It's all good. We're all
so
sleep
good.
deprived here.
That's getting edited out. See, stupidity stays into the podcast when it's one of you guys doing it. If it's me stuffing up, God, nah, I lived in that. It's all good. And Assassin's Creed Rogue, did I say that right? Assassin's Creed Rogue Remaster is available now. I completely forgot that was even getting remastered.
Oh yeah, it was a while ago that they announced that it was happening.
It was, yeah. So that's available now if anyone's keen. You guys getting it?
I've got it from 360, so I could probably play it whenever.
Oh, is it back compat, is it?
Sorry?
Is it back compat, is it?
I'm hoping so. I'll be able to test that theory.
Well, there you go. You can give it a try and see what the Xbox says. But anyway, I played it for like 30 minutes back when it was released. I never got around to it. I think that was released when the PS4 was already out, wasn't it? That was released at the same time as Black Flag.
Around that time, yes.
It was after Black Flag, yeah.
But
where,
very close too.
You know, Black Flag was the PS4, Xbox One game, and then they had Rogue for the last gen consoles. So I didn't really play it too much because I was too focused on new gen. Uh-oh, Poppy's up and she's going for a walk. Hopefully she's not going to poo somewhere. But I think that's everything for me covered. What about you guys?
Only a couple of things I've been playing this week, but I've been catching up on my PlayStation gaming nothing really very new just yet. But I dove into Journey the other day. Such a gorgeous game. It is beautiful. Obviously you guys have played it, so you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that game is gorgeous and complex and confusing at times. The soundtrack is amazing. But it was really good because I've had quite a busy week this week, so I've had to have pick up, put down games, and it was it only took me 2 settings to get through it.
Yeah, it's quite short.
Yeah, it's very short. It's only a few hours, I think.
Yeah, I think you can get through that in an hour and a half, I think.
Oh yeah, trying hard, sure. Yeah. I think I'll play through it again at some point because there's I've played through it. I literally got 1 trophy and it's just the one bronze trophy. I'm like, I've got 4% progress on this game. What else have I got to do?
Yeah, so there's a lot of specific things you need to do. Some of them. What are you playing it on?
PlayStation
4
Pro.
Sorry?
Yeah, PlayStation 4 Pro.
Oh, okay. I haven't played it on the PS4, but there's a bit of a spoiler alert. Now, I'm just going to try and tease this out of you to see if you know it, so I don't spoil it for you. But I can't remember if it tells you at the end. Did you get the little twist at the end?
Twist at the end.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Rebirth trophy? Because that's the only one I've got, literally.
What do you get the Rebirth trophy for?
You finish the game and you go all the way back to the start.
No, there's a I don't want to spoil it.
There's a twist, Deb. Oh shit.
It's Did it come up and say anything about people that you've met along your journey?
Yes, it did. I met 3 different characters, so I'm assuming there are other ones.
Sorry, say that again.
I met 3 different characters.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming there are other ones.
Yeah, but did you get the twist on what those characters were?
Not really. I think that's a bit above my head.
Oh, can I tell you? It's not it's not a major thing. It's not like you're going to go, well, mind blown.
Well, games like that, no, yeah.
But the characters that you run into in the game are actually other players.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
It's an online game. You played that online co-op.
See, when I first saw the person, I thought, oh, is this another online gamer? Or is this an AI? Yeah. And then as I played, I sort of went, oh, it could be an AI. Like, they sort of start to... They really do stick with you very well, and they don't tend to deviate like other players usually do.
Yeah, well, no, they're not AIs. They're other people like you doing second playthroughs, trying to play the game again. So what they do is they try to get you, like what people will generally try to do is show you where secret things are and try and get you to help them do the things that they want to do as well.
Yeah, sure. So it must have been really frustrating.
But they don't know who you are, so they can't see your name and then send you a private message. You can't see their name and can't tell who they are until the end of the game when it tells you who you met. And you only
then they have a weird name. They don't have their own GT either.
Oh, is that true? Is that right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's why I thought maybe it was AI, because they have like assigned names that are very fitted to the game. Oh. They're not sort of the usual player tags.
Unless you did have AIs, I don't know. But
keep in mind, though, Xbox players do tend to do that. They tend to create their GTs around the games they play.
Well, this is on PlayStation, but
yeah, it's on PlayStation.
Oh, yeah. True. Forgot about that. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting, and the only way of communication is just by those symbols. It's like the sounds that you can make.
Yeah, by shouting at each other, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is an amazing game. Like, there is so much to it and so much to understand. And I love that. I really didn't understand the journey that I was on until about halfway through. I sort of went, oh, okay, I see what's happening here. I can understand what you're trying to tell me for the road ahead. So that was really cool. I liked the way that they slowly unravel that for you, but still leave a lot of it to be interpreted.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful looking game too. I've not played it on the PS4, like I said, but PS3 I played it on. It was really nice. Good game.
It's stunning. Yeah, I was sitting there looking at the lighting and the way the sand moves and everything. Every footstep you can hear. It's really beautiful. The only other thing I've really played this week has been delved into the Grim Fandango Remastered, which came out ages ago, like end of PS3 life, I think.
Yeah, I played most of that. I haven't finished it yet, though.
I've got to about the same point now that I got when I last played it on PC. So I'm stuck again.
Yeah, it's a good game as well. I think I got distracted and played it, ended up leaving it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's an easy one to sort of get sidetracked and do something else. But it's still good. It still holds up okay. It's not great, but it's okay. It's more nostalgic, I think, than anything else.
Yeah.
But what I'm looking forward to getting into, because I've got a whole lineup now that I've pilfered from Snoogs. I'm looking forward to, though, hopefully next week when things calm down, streaming some Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Yeah, so I'm really super keen, but I wanted to make sure that I had the time to really dedicate to it, because I know it's a complex game. Yeah.
Snoogs' post that he put up on the Age Facebook page really got me interested, because he gave that game a massive rap.
Oh, yeah.
And I haven't heard bad things really about it, but I haven't heard anyone go that sort of, keen on it. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, it's said to be amazing, which is why I've been so keen on it for such a long time. But yeah, definitely not a game where you want to go in if you're not psychologically strong, I think is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It's going to challenge you, and it's gonna disturb you. So I'm preparing for that as well. But yeah, that's pretty much me.
Nice. All right. Greg, anything else? Are you done or?
So I've got a couple.
Yeah, good. Go ahead.
So, let's start with some more updates. GTA 5, it gets NASCARs now. Because, that's what they need.
Because why not?
What else do you need?
Why not? I mean, they've got everything else, so NASCAR's now in it.
No, not allowed to add more guns.
To be fair, I think they've added all the ones they're going to add. I don't think there's much left to add in that respect. So, NASCARs, Destiny 2, Faction Rally this week. Power weapons are up for grabs. There's 2 sniper rifles. Dead Orbit and Future Warcode are offering sniper rifles. New Monarchy is offering a grenade launcher. Also on Destiny 2, Season 3 starts in May, for those that are interested.
Very good.
Which will also probably mean the new DLC will drop. And they're talking about a bunch of other little add-ons and stuff like that, but I'll keep you posted on those as they get confirmed. Speaking of crossovers, every now and then we talk about crossovers. We've had the Nike crossover, we've had a bunch of other things. Xbox and Audi have come together.
Makes sense.
And created a limited edition Audi Xbox. It's literally shaped like an Audi R8 front end.
They've changed the shape.
I'll get you a picture. I've got a picture. I'll send it to you so you can put it up.
Yep.
You can even use it because people will be confused by it and go, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah, I'll use it as on the thumbnail for the podcast.
Yeah, and I believe it's a giveaway. I've got it up on my Twitter feed. If you're interested in trying to join the competition to win it, by all means. So yeah, that's that. It's red. It's vibrant. It's got an Audi grille on it. It's got everything you could possibly imagine. So there's that. Ps3 Payout. Have you heard about this?
The legal matter? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes. I've heard a little bit about it.
So, a few years back now, they lost a class action because the original PS3 had the ability to use alternate OS systems, operating systems, right?
Yeah.
Which created a potential security breach for said people using their those PS3s.
Mm-hmm.
It's just come out that you have until, and when I say you, not anyone in this country, only in the US, have until the 15th of April, fill out a form with their PSN username and their console serial number, and they'll get $65.
Yeah. I heard it was a bit piss weak.
So, yeah. Interesting. So anyway, that's my wrap up of this week's news. So,
all right, very good. I've just had a look at that the Audi thing that you were talking about.
Yep.
That looks like a 1S. Is that a 1S?
It probably is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very, very interesting. Yeah, it looks like the front end looks like a bonnet.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the bonnet and grille kind of an R8. Looks. Yeah, look, it's better than the Nike PlayStation shoes the other week.
Oh, I agree. I agree every day of the week. Absolutely. I don't hate it. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm not an Audi fan. If they made a few different ones, I think I'd really like a GTHO Phase 3 Falcon front end of my Xbox.
You will probably have to petition Forza a little harder than Audi did. Then I think, because I believe it's a Forza competition. So.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, that looks cool. Cool. We'll share that picture definitely.
Yep.
All right. Well, if we're all finished with the video game discussion, we can move on to Hall of Fame. All right.
Hall
Who's
of Fame.
taking all that away? Go for it.
I am. So, this week's Hall of Fame, because
Yep, start again.
This is-
You dropped out.
I was just saying that I think Lucas should introduce this week's Hall of Fame, because it really is his baby favorite. He's a big fanboy.
Oh,
So how about you tell everyone this week what this week's Hall of Fame is, and then I will fill them in on the details.
okay. Well, look, I was about to say to you, be careful with this week's Hall of Fame, because we pissed off a few people last time with with Street Fighter. Like, oh, this game better be in there next time, and this game, and this... Okay, right, well, calm down, everybody. I assure you, this time, this game... Just in case you disagreed with Street Fighter, this game definitely needs to be in the Hall of Fame. The game that we're inducting into the Hall of Fame this week is none other than Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, boy.
That is correct.
Yeah.
This week, it's the bros.
When
So-
I just quickly, I just want to tell you a
Yeah.
little story. When I was a little chap and I first played this game on the NES on my next door neighbour's console, it confused the hell out of me how the game was called Super Mario Brothers, but it said Bros on the front. And I thought it had some sort of weird tie-in with that boy band. Do you remember them?
Wow.
Obviously, I've missed this. What boy band?
You know the band? Bros?
I
No.
don't even know this one.
I don't know. It's probably Bros or something. Bros. That band from... No? Okay. Tell us all about Super Mario Brothers.
So it was created by. Do you want to say it? Because I know you're itching.
By... What, Nintendo?
No, I was going to say Shigeru Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka.
Oh, I don't know Takashi, but yeah, it's a Miyamoto game for sure.
Yeah. It was released in 1985, the successor to Mario Brothers, which was in 83.
Yeah, which I think was I think that was on Atari.
Oh no! It might have been.
I think it was on...
It
It was probably
it was
on a few
on-
things.
Yeah, it was on the Famicom and whatever was on before Famicom, I think. Anyway,
Well, the Famicom was just the NES, which is what we had. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, the game, in a nutshell, is about a plumber named Mario and his brother. They travel through the Mushroom Kingdom to
Oh,
rescue a princess.
It's poor Luigi. He gets a hard go, and he just go. It's about Mario and his brother.
All right, I'm sorry.
And his brother.
It's about
Luigi.
a game about two brothers, plumbers. Unfortunately, you don't see Luigi unless you play it as a co-op. However, Mario and Luigi travel through Mushroom Kingdom to rescue Princess Toadstool from Bowser,
Correct.
all while traversing platforms in the air, on the ground, underground, in the water, trying to achieve your objectives. So it was initially designed in Japan to be the swan song of the Famicom, and to then play out on the new system they'll bring out, the Famicom Disk System. In other words, NES. The original was actually meant to be a shooting game, funnily enough, before it was decided that it would be a side-scroller. The part that really starts to bed in why we believe that it should be in the Hall of Fame was part of it was the design. It was when it was discussed, it was decided that they needed a simple game that could meet the end of year shopping season, aka Christmas.
Yeah.
And so they needed something they could really easily pump out, I guess. But what made it so ingenious was the ease of access for people to play the game. And the first level, World 1-1, as it's known, is actually ingeniously designed in that it teaches you every core mechanic that you need to know for the rest of the game.
Yep.
It will literally show you every type of enemy archetype,
Except for
platform
swimming.
archetype, all that kind of thing, short of, like boss fights or whatever.
And swimming.
And it was all about repetition, iteration, and escalation to help as you were exploring World 1-1. And it's been critically acclaimed for that reason. It's part of the reason that it makes it such a wonderful game is its level design. On top of that, it had also immense, and I mean immense, commercial success. Last time we talked about Street Fighter's immense commercial success, and it had immense commercial success, but this game pretty much dwarfs that.
Yeah.
It's received critical acclaim across the board. It's created... sorry. Excuse me. It was credited, along with the NES itself, as being key factors for reviving the video game industry after the 1983 market crash. Pretty much those two pieces of technology, both the NES and Super Mario Brothers, literally drove the video game industry out of its funk.
Yeah, no doubt.
This was because it sold 40 million physical copies.
Jesus.
It was in 1999 the best-selling game, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. Today, it is still in the top 5.
Isn't that incredible?
It's amazing.
Absolutely incredible.
Along with that, it's beaten by things like Minecraft and what was some of the other ones? I can't remember. Some of them are actually in our top 5. Some of those 5 games are actually still are going to be in our Hall of Fame later on.
Right. Yeah, well, I only just bought it again 2 weeks ago on my Switch.
There you go. It was also one of the games that defined the NES itself. So, since then, it had 3 direct follow-ups on the NES, and then spawned a massive franchise pretty much across Nintendo's gaming systems, which is still relevant and strong even 33 years later.
Were the follow-ups on the NES or the SNES?
Well, there were 3. There were some follow-ups on the NES, but there were apparently 3 direct follow-ups on the NES, apparently, according to my sources. Anyway, please look. You can always fact check me later on, and I'm happy to be wrong. But
all good.
You can edit Grejio really badly, like there were 3 different games on them.
So, including the games, there's also been a movie, and since we heard last week, there's going to be a second one made.
Woohoo.
There's been 4 TV series and a game show.
What, a game show?
A game show.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I had a quick look for it. I couldn't find a video or anything of it yet, but I will keep looking. So that by the time that this drops on you guys, we should have some links to put in the bottom. I sent these guys a link to a TV show I remember watching, the Super Mario Brothers show.
Yeah, I remember the cartoon portion. I don't remember ever seeing the live action.
I remember the live action bit. It was terrible, to say the least.
Oh, it was. It was horrible.
But it's funny. It's nostalgically, it's funny to watch. But all these things adding up, besides the fact it's just a fun game. It's well and truly steeped into the gaming culture. I find it hard-pressed anyone to argue with me this week about, not that I'm testing you or challenging you guys to argue with me about it, but
Come at
by all
me.
means. I'm gonna say you got a hard task this week to try and convince me that this game definitely doesn't belong in our Hall of Fame. But too late. We've put it there, so it's our Hall of Fame. We put it there.
That's right. And if anybody wants to argue that fact, they can take me on.
Ooh.
Yeah, to be fair, this is Lucas's argument this week. The last one, Street Fighter, that was mine.
Oh,
this is his.
I'll argue it
you.
Tooth and bone. If anyone wants to suggest that this one doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, yeah, bring it on. Bring it on.
So, yeah.
Super Mario Bros. Yeah, man. Look,
Super Mario Bros.
I'll see if I can add some little facts that I can remember off the top of my head about the Super Mario Bros. It was also quite genius in the design, where a lot of the assets were like reused. I'm sure you guys might know about these ones by now. They're fairly common knowledge, but the clouds are the exact same sprite as the grass shrubs in the background. They're just a different colour. You guys noticed that?
Now you've said that, and I'm like, oh yeah, of course, that's obvious. Right.
Yeah, so they're saving memory, because like back then, the amount of memory that they had on their cartridges was absolutely bugger all. So they had to be careful with their space. Also, if you played Luigi versus Mario, they were the exact same sprite. Just Luigi had green when Mario had red. That was another thing that they did to save on space. So they looked identical. Probably hence why they made them brothers. Mario was not always a plumber. Did you know that?
That I didn't know.
Sorry?
I was just going to say, because literally Mario Brothers, the blurb for Mario Brothers actually described him as a plumber.
Well, that's right, yes. But previous to him being a plumber, Super Mario was actually a carpenter.
Oh, really?
This is a little bit sort of alluded to in Donkey Kong.
Yep.
Because one of the weapons you get in Donkey Kong, can you remember?
Is a hammer.
And it looks like a wooden hammer, which is something that a carpenter would use to not damage the wood when they're hammering, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you use like a steel hammer, you're going to put dents in it, but you use a large wooden mallet, and that's one of the weapons you get in Donkey Kong. And back in those Donkey Kong days, he was a carpenter, not a plumber. The plumber thing came around years later, I think, when they introduced like the pipes and all that sort of stuff in the Super Mario Brothers games. What else have I got trivia-wise that I can think of? Not sure. I think that might be it for just the top of my head anyway. But yeah, there's all little bits and bobs. Oh, one more. I've got one more. The idea for Mario came from Miyamoto. It was that he actually had, I think it was his landlord from where he was living at the time. His landlord, I think his name was Mario, and he was an Italian guy, and Miyamoto designed his character around his landlord Mario. So that's
is that flattering or not?
Well, probably not. No, because Super Mario is generally a little portly fella, isn't he?
Yeah.
Still better than being Ace Ventura's landlord.
True.
Well, yes,
true.
That's right.
Yes, Satan.
Yes, Satan. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought it was someone else.
I love Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
Oh dear, lovely. Super Mario Brothers. Oh, I love them. I'm taking my Switch to bed tonight. I'm gonna play some of that.
Having some alone time.
Oh no, nothing like that. No, I'm not that. I am sick and twisted, but not that sick and twisted. I'll give myself some credit there. There you go. Rightio. Super Mario Brothers in the Hall of Fame. That's our second game in the Hall of Fame. And if you're interested in what games are being added to the Hall of Fame, if you've missed the episodes, you can head across to our Discord channel, check out the Hall of Fame text channel, server, whatever they call it. And the pinned post will be updated periodically with what our Hall of Fame games are, or alternatively, it'll be on the AussieGamersExpress.com website as well. It's going to be updated with our Hall of Fame games on there, so you can check on them. Discord's probably the place to go, because then you can have your own comments and we can get into an argument about what should or shouldn't be there. There you go. All right, well, if that's Hall of Fame done, how about we move on to What's That Sound? Alrighty, so last week's What's That Sound was an easy one. It wasn't so easy that I gave you guys the answer that time. That was the week before. So let me just find it and we'll play it just for clarification. Okay, that was the dance music from Fortnite. So when you did your little emote dance, that was the music. That's one of the set pieces. Like, there's a couple of different music tunes that'll play while you're doing, and that's one of them. So that was from Fortnite. And I think pretty much everybody in the world already knew that. So there you go. All right, have you guys had a chance to listen to this week's What's That Sound?
We have, yeah.
We have.
All right, well, let me play it now. And do either of you know what that sound is?
No, you got me beat this week. I have no idea what it is.
Oh, okay. Hey, you know what I did? I made the file, but I named it what it actually was. And I'm like, okay, I've got to change that. I changed it.
Let's not do that.
I changed it to no name, which is what it has now. But then because with MP3s, if you right-click them and go into properties and go to details, it has a whole list of things. And it still had the name of what it was in the... It's like the MP3 ID.
Yep.
So I'm like, I'm changing it in there too. So I fixed that, just in case you guys were savvy enough to check that.
Nah, we're not that bad.
Well, I would have. So I fixed that up and sorted it out. What about you, Rem? Did you get it?
It sounds awfully familiar to me, and I've been racking my brain trying to think about what it is. I know it's something I've played fairly recently, I think.
Ooh.
It's best way I'm describing it is like thinking music, like a pause in the game.
Yeah.
And for me, the only thing I can think of is
I'm going to play it again. Hang on. What do you reckon? Thinking music? What are you in, like a game show or something? I haven't played it.
it's like those you have to decide on an action or something like that. I know. I'm pretty sure that's what the sound is, but I can only think at the moment. I can't.
Okay, well, just excuse me for a second. I'm just checking the file to make sure I didn't miss something, which of course means you are correct.
Hooray!
Thinking,
I got one.
Did she see the answer somewhere, or has she brilliantly deduced that from the sound and her distant memory?
That was all me.
Well, I trust you. You've got a trustworthy face and a trustworthy voice. I'll give
That's
you
that.
Good. Yes, well, that's exactly right. That is the sound. It is definitely from that game. And if anybody listening thinks they know what this week's What's That Sound is, then head across to our Facebook page. Hell, if you even come across to our Discord and send us the message, send us a private message. Anybody can do that on Discord. With the correct answer, if you're right, I'll send you a free game. So there you go. That's a little game for us to give something back to our community. It's bleeped out for anybody listening, but Rem got it right. Congratulations.
Hooray!
Good work.
There you go. All right, well, that's What's That Sound for this week, and that's the show. So let's go into last words. All right, do either of you have any last words?
No, not really.
Finish him, he says.
Yeah, finish him. It's always my favourite one.
Hey, I spent the last week working on a review, and
Okay.
one that I haven't mentioned. It's not necessarily video game related, so to speak, but I always work some sort of video gameness into them. But I've got a set of bookshelf speakers here from Edifier, and
These are ones you're going to test for chewing?
Yes, that's the ones. They were in the box last week. That's right. I've taken them out of the box and I've been playing with them for the last week. And what I did is I specifically did not go and have a look at how much these things cost, because I didn't know how much they're worth, because these have been given to me to review. They're a loaner. I have to give them back. And I've not made any agreement to give positive or negative or any specific comments. It's all me. And I didn't know how much they cost. So I thought, you know what, I don't care how much they cost. I'm going to review them based on the unit itself. And the review will be up, I believe it's on Monday coming, which is, what, the 24th, is it? No, 25th? 26th. This Monday coming, the 26th of March. And I've got to say, I don't want to give them back.
Ooh.
They're pretty damn good. But the thing is, these are the only speakers that I've found, or didn't find them, that came my way, that have a USB input. So you can plug it directly into your PC without having to use like a headphone jack or Bluetooth device, like dongles or what have you. All of the other speakers that I've tested, they're all, like, none of them have USB inputs. Like, these aren't PC speakers. These are bookshelf speakers. They're designed to be used with Bluetooth or plugged into a stereo, like, you know, like your home stereo, what have you. So they're very far from PC speakers. But I've been using them on my PC, and they sound so good. I've got these cheap ass, like, $20 no-name speakers that I've been using. I'm not going to be able to go back to them. I'm going to have to go get a better set of speakers. Now that I've been using these all week, and I've been using these to edit video as well, so listening back to the audio, you can hear so much stuff, because these things have got, like, HD audio. Have you heard of that before? Like, it's some different spectrum of sound that it changes the, I don't know. It's all explained in the review that's coming out on Monday, but these things are great. For anyone interested in getting some speakers that will work with your PC because it's got USB, it's the Edifier S880DB. And the thing is that blew me away, because I was thinking, I might buy a set of these speakers.
And then, no.
And then I found out how much they are.
Ouch.
So it's got USB, it's got two auxiliary, so like your RCAs, it's got coaxial, it's got optical inputs and Bluetooth, if I haven't said that. So it's got all these different inputs, which is the most I've seen in any of these speakers. It has, you know, the U-Butte subwoofer thing in it, and tweeters and all that sort of stuff, and has beautiful sound. Oh, can you guess, just by my reactions, how much the bloody thing is?
I don't. Not by your reaction, I don't think.
Just have a ballpark guess.
I'm gonna say between 350 and 400.
I'm going to say 6.
Okay, well, if this was The Price is Right, we have to go with the closest that didn't go over.
Right, so Rem 1.
Rem 1.
As soon as you said go over, I'm like, yeah, no. But it's close to 600, right?
Well, it's 400. It's close.
Oh, right.
Rem nailed it almost.
She said 400.
That's
yeah,
right.
Fair enough.
$400.
That's it.
$3.99. Oh, but you get free postage if you buy it online.
Oh, there you go.
Well, then, you know, they redeem themselves slightly.
They're worth it, but like because of if you need all of those connections, it's worth it. Like they're good speakers. But the thing is, you can get speakers that have all of those, like that have the main connections for half that price. Oh, just that was heartbreaking because these are really good. Comes with a remote as well. The remote itself, I reckon, is probably $150. It looks expensive. So, naturally, I've kept it well away from my dog because I don't own these. They have to go back. But yeah, bloody good speakers. But yeah, that's one thing that I've been doing this week that I didn't mention. Yeah, you guys got last words now? No? Yes? No? Going once? Going twice?
No.
Not really. It's been a quiet week, so yeah, I'm looking forward to next week's Hellblade at some point.
Yeah, nice. So I look forward to hearing what you think of that. And if you say it's an amazing piece of art as well, that's too many for me. I'll have to play it too.
Oh yeah, I'll have to actually buy a legitimate copy instead of just rounding off Snoogs.
What for? It's only like a 3 or 4 hour game, isn't it? Just play it, finish it, and be done with it.
We'll see. But it's a good price though. It's really cheap at the moment.
Yeah.
So if you're at all interested in the game,
it's like $17 or something.
20 something.
Oh.
I can't remember exactly, but still very good price. Very good price.
Yeah, there you go.
But I will report back with my thoughts.
Sounds good. All right. Well,
I do have one thing to say.
Ooh,
sorry,
good.
before we go. We're going away on the weekend, but when we get back, I'm going to try and get another stream of Superhot going. For those that are interested, I would probably try and do it later in the evening, so more people have a chance to have a crack and have a look. And
absolutely.
Watch my dumbass play.
Is that going to be on Twitch as well?
Yeah, I'll do it on Twitch again.
Well, if you're on our Discord, there'll be an automatic notification when Grejio goes live now. I've set that up for you, buddy.
Nifty.
Sweet.
Yes, but if you want to go and follow him now, it's Grejio, right?
Grejio. Yeah.
Gregaio.
It's the one.
Sounds like a song, which I won't sing because I'll murder it. All right.
Come on.
You guys have heard of Bros, right?
Of what?
Broth, no.
Bros.
I have not heard of broth. I need to look this up now.
Yeah, I put a link in the podcast live chat there of a Google search of Bros. They're a band.
Right.
I think they were like Milli Vanilli.
Like Milli. Right, I get it. Say no more.
Maybe.
The Super Mario Bros? What is that? Anyway.
All right. I see what you're saying now. Yep, okay.
Some weird stuff. All right, awesome. That'll do for the show then. Thank you very much to everybody who's listened. An extra special thank you to anybody who's still listening at the end of the show. That tells me that you're enjoying it and you love it, so we love you. That's all we've got for this week, and we'll be back next week with Snoogs back. I've missed Snoogs. He's definitely brings a certain element to the podcast, but we'll see him next week. There's nothing wrong with him. He's just away with the family having some fun, so he'll be back next week. Well, that's it. As always, I am Lucas.
I'm Remutha.
And I've been Grejio.
He got a little bit thrown. No Snoogs. See ya. Well, here we are once again at the end of this week's show. If you're still hungry for more video game content, then head over to the Aussie Gamers Express Facebook page and give us a like. We also have a heavy presence over on Twitter and YouTube, and their links are waiting for you in the podcast description. This podcast is available for your convenience through Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and more. Thanks again for listening. Catch you all on the next episode of the Aussie Gamers Express Video Game Podcast.